Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Aries. It is a general reading. That being said, it may or may not resonate with you. If it doesn't sound like it's your story, check your other placements. Your messages could be there. So your overall message is coming from the fallen angel Florose, and it is about restraint. Okay, so what it's saying is that sometimes conflict is unavoidable. The art is to know when to call a truce and make peace, to know when to lay down the fight. You may have to swallow your pride or be more willing to compromise. If this is not you, then this is for the other person. And even once the battle is won, restraint and generosity will need to be exercised, okay? What we have here along with this card is the symbol for Leo, the 12th house, and we have the North Node. Beginning with the 12th house. It is the house of the unconscious. It's ruled by Neptune. It represents imprisonment, loss, grief, enemies, solitude. It represents fear and secrets, suffering, things that are hidden in our deepest thoughts. This can be one's innermost fears or secrets, dreams, the house of the unseen realm of shadow and of invisible enemies, karma. The 12th house can also be seen as the house of reckoning, since it's here that that we're going to review what we've been and what we've done and decide where we go from there or from here. We also deliberate on our strengths and weaknesses here that are hidden from public view. This shadow work, it can be very slow, long, and often uncomfortable and even painful as we try to make sense of our lives. In doing this work, we're confronted with our sorrows, suffering, and the secrets that we keep from ourselves and from others. It's here we're confronted with our fate, karma, where we meet up with the results of everything that we've done, basically. The key is, what have we wrought within our lives? Because we'll deal with that both consciously and unconsciously. And will the answer to that question compel us to be transformed or reborn? We can learn a lot from the unconscious. And if we learn our lessons, both past and present, well, we're better equipped to move forward. The 12th house compels us to seek closure in a spiritual way as an aid to positive growth. So it's by visiting the unconscious and meeting up with the past that we begin to glean what the future will bring if we stay that course. We, of course, have the option to change course if we're unhappy. Now, Leo is about confidence, leadership, pride. They can be very stubborn. They can be very intense. They like attention or like to be the center of attention. They're very proud. Pride can be a problem. They like to do things in their own terms. Um, it can be that you're dealing with somebody who is um, maybe they're very generous with gifts and things, money, but maybe not so much with their time or themselves. This can be, you could be dealing with somebody who gets very angry, especially when they don't get what they want, and they might even take it out on you, even if it wasn't your fault. You know, you could be dealing with someone like this. You could be looking at this and questioning this. Um, the North Node is determining your fate and the purpose that you're meant to fulfill. So it's also associated with karma and is a product of what you've learned in past lives. So it represents the path that you are growing into through this life. So right now it's kind of like you're at a checkpoint, basically. Um, uh, Examining where you've been, what you've done, to decide where you're going to go from here. That's what I feel. It's like you're at this checkpoint. Um, so the North Node, or the True Node, as it is also known, is a point in your birth chart that reflects the moon's nodes and represents where you're going to learn life lessons. So you could be learning a life lesson here. Lessons that must be learned, fear of the unknown, fate, and the path forward are represented by this North Node. It's also associated with the concept of the other side or other world, and it can also be seen as a gateway to another reality. So now, Leo in the North Node, because you have Leo and the North Node. So taking a look at that, at this astrological symbol there, placed in the North Node, you would be looking at lessons and rewards around themes of sharing the spotlight with others. It could be that you're dealing with somebody who maybe wants all of the attention, or it's all about them. And so this could also be around cultivating creativity and curiosity within your relationships. And maybe even releasing your people-pleasing ways. So maybe you're always trying to please. Yeah. So let's look a little deeper here. So let's remember that with floros, they talk about conflict as being sometimes unavoidable. Well, that's what happened here. There was a conflict, and there's a lot of grief over this. Something happened here. There was somebody, excuse me, somebody was really angry. There was some very intense feelings. Well, that comes up with the Leo symbol. And somebody maybe said or did something without thinking. It would have been a very rash, quick, abrupt, cut cut off. And now a very see the emotions that were driving this person. And this is the consequence that they sit in now. They could have been, something was culminating, and then there was news that came in from outside, from external in, and I feel like it was the tipping point, and they took a very quick decision that would have hurt themselves or stung themselves. So they felt stung, and they were stinging back. That's exactly what I get here. Now, this it feels like the growth here got blocked by an obstacle. Somebody was standing blocking that doorway or blocking the opportunity because they were very guarded, because it wasn't fair, or this could even have to do with finances. Somebody giving very, very little. So generosity could have been in question. Somebody's generosity. See, we're here. It's interesting because you have news coming in and news going out on top up here. Somebody did something real quick. This person, they would have been like that person I described as being very intense, always wanting all of the attention, that it's all about them, somewhat narcissistic person you're dealing with there. I mean, it could be just that you weren't giving them what they wanted, and that made them upset. It could have been as simple as that. And they blew a fuse. It's like this person, yeah, it had to always be, it was all about them and their needs. They seem to forget that a couple is two people, or or they didn't know, and now you're enlightening them. I feel like they may have wanted to control a situation, possibly also. Um, you could have been married to this person, or, I mean, this could be learned behavior also. It's like uh, events that happen to this person throughout their lifetime. Because I have memories of of the Ten of Wisdom. Memories about the past having to do with family, home, and family commitments, relationships, traditions, value, property. I kind of feel like property and money are somehow involved in this somewhere in this picture. It could be that somebody's asking more than the other is willing to give, possibly, because they don't feel it's fair. Somebody's pride is getting in the way of making peace with this situation or being able to make peace. I see it here. It's like they're slipping. First they're in the Five of Swords, then they slip back to the Four of Swords. It's like they can't advance here. Because after the 5 is the 6, and the 6 is moving out of troubled waters, right? But they kind of slipped back. So there was a conflict. And they kind of slipped back, holding their ground, being stubborn. In this energy, they're reflecting, but they're feeling very resentful because they're not getting what they want. That's in both cards. Look, it's dark. The battle's over. The conflict has been done, but they're still sitting there in that energy. There's been a lot of fighting. Maybe there's a lot of fighting, and this person, they're standing their ground, and they're not giving an inch. This person is really stubborn. They're unwilling to compromise, and that is why they slip down to the 4, you know. And so maybe they need to think about this. It's very difficult for this person to admit that they've been wrong or that they were wrong. It's like very difficult for them to do this, to come forward and to, it hurts to admit that they were wrong. And so, dear, my God, it could be that they, you know, it's like they're kind of childish in this way. But this goes back to something to do with family. And maybe there's a fear of loss or a fear of something being taken away from them, and this is why they're so stubborn. This energy is the energy of somebody who's like trying to protect themselves from something, but there's a deeper issue here going on, a deeper emotional issue. Because if you're wondering if they will come around, yes, they will, and I'll tell you why. Because although you're sitting in this negative energy because somebody's being very stubborn and they're unwilling to compromise, they know what they did wrong. They know that they should have handled that differently, but they're not admitting to it. Okay, or it's difficult for them to admit to it. You know, pride. But you have the Sun and you have the Great Fortune card. Oh my God, this is really good cards to get. So understand that as stubborn as they're being, they are going to come around, and the reason they're going to come around is because they do love you. At the root of all of this, beneath all of this tough guy stuff, you know, stubbornness, this person loves you. They may not always show it because of their behavior, but they do love you. They always have. And that is right there. It's not easy for them to talk about it. It's not easy for them to pour out their emotions, and the reason for that lies in their childhood, back there. Something, or the manner in which they grew up. Maybe it wasn't easy. I don't know. All I know is it's attached here. The answer is here as to why it's difficult for them. But they do want this commitment, and whatever it is that you wanted, you get. Basically, there's a decision that's in your favor. So if you were asking for something specifically from this person, they're going to give it to you. You get what you were wishing for or longing for. There's the message, there's the decision, and it is a ruling or a decision in your favor. The Great Fortune card, wow. This is speaking to a new opportunity, a stroke of luck, or a winning streak. But it speaks to short term. It's up to you once you got this to learn. And that's where Floros comes back in again. Because it's already told you right at the beginning, if you would have been paying attention to what I was saying, that talks about the battle being won. So you know that you're going to win this battle. The thing is after in keeping it. And that is, they're telling you right away, if you want to keep it, you're going to have to learn to exercise restraint and generosity. Yes. And so whatever it is you were wishing for with this distant horizons that maybe you thought was out of reach is going to be given to you. You are getting a message. Okay, it could for some, this is a general reading. I'm talking to a lot of people, so it may not happen in 7 days, but it could very, very well happen in 7 days. And I am sorry, I did hit the mic. I didn't mean to. And so that would have been noisy on your end. I'm so sorry. But depending where you are in the energy, okay, I mean, for some of you, you are going to get that message within the next week. For others, it could take longer. But you will get your message. You will get what you were wishing or longing for. This does come in your favor. And so just remember, sometimes conflict is unavoidable. The art is to know when to call a truce and make peace, to know when to lay down the fight. And I might be speaking currently to this person. I would like to be speaking to this person here to know when to lay down the fight. But they will, anyway. I see it in the cards. And after, when the battle is won, remember to exercise restraint and generosity if you want to keep it. If you want to keep what? If you want to keep the peace and harmony here. This is a card of it's like happy endings, happy outcomes. And if you weren't married before, it could indicate getting married and having a family. To look at a, like a long-term picture. That is what I have for you. I thank you for watching, for liking, and for sharing my videos, and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has sent in a donation. It is greatly appreciated. Many blessings to all of you.